Should we start, like, is this the point where we start getting, like, guests to come on?
Who are we gonna get to come on?
I don't know.
Swami Suave.
No.
Hey, welcome to Super Social Club. I'm Jeremy.
This is Whisky in the Six, I'm Rob.
Welcome to the Whiskey Rant podcast.
So I'm a little crusty,
It's frustrating.
and it's gonna be a little bit of a rant.
I don't understand it. I don't know why.
Some sort of injustice.
Anyway, end rant.
Hello and welcome back to the Whiskey Rant podcast. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Rob.
And tonight we're drinking something very special. You're seeing a Michter's in front of us, but the sample jar you're seeing in front of us is part of a care package that we were gifted when we arrived at our hotel for the Glenlivet Gordon MacPhail 80-year-old tasting. I mean, we talked about how these guys treated us, but we didn't even mention the care package with the like 10 epic samples that we got at the very beginning.
Here's a guy basically saying, we'll fly you to Vancouver, we'll put you up, we'll feed you when you're there and give you a $10,000 ounce of whiskey.
Right?
But as soon as you walk into your hotel, here's a whole bunch of samples of stuff that you're probably not going to be able to get.
Yeah.
Or like at least one of those things was like something we definitely won't be able to get.
And yeah, this Michter's 20 caught my eye right away because I've always wanted to try it.
Yeah.
I've obviously seen the reviews of our peers just gushing over it. And the nose on this,
Crazy.
I mean, I've been smelling it for the last like 20 minutes and it's blowing me away.
Straight flat Coca-Cola. I love that note on some bourbons.
It's got floral elements to it. It's got so much stuff going on with this thing. Lots
like
of berry fruit.
Butter caramel corn.
Yeah, there's definitely some buttered corn in there.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's got a little funkiness to it as well.
It's like same with like the empty whiskey glass sensation, but the empty Coca-Cola glass sensation. You ever have that? You ever smell it empty? Yeah. That's kind of what
that syrup just hardens.
Yeah, it's just like that dried, like, sugar.
My goodness, man. So we don't really have like a theme for this. We're just gonna drink this whiskey and chat about it.
You know, there's a lot of cool movies coming out. I was thinking like, what's your go-to when you're about to watch a movie at home?
Mm-hmm.
What's your go-to whiskey pour?
So usually something like lower ABV that I can like pour multiples of and not get wrecked.
Right.
Recently, it's been Springbank 10-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's been great. Also, if I'm wanting something like maybe like more on the sherry side, I'm going with Glenallen P12.
Okay. Nice.
So I think recently those have been my go-tos, and then if I'm going for bourbon, it's like an old Booker's batch that I really like.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because I don't know what it is about this nose on this Michter's 20, but it reminds me of like the movie theaters. Like it reminds me of like a bag of popcorn.
It does have a popcorn note to it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Like it's got like, I don't know, like my kids have been recently adding M&Ms to their popcorn and they melt and they kind of go all over the popcorn.
I've heard about this phenomenon.
It's actually really good.
I'm sure.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what I'm getting here. It's like that buttery popcorn with melted M&Ms.
So Michter's 20 is your go-to movie popcorn. Like,
yes, I think I'm gonna have to start drinking some bourbon while I'm
next time you throw on
movies.
the family on the Disney movie, you're just pouring yourself Michter's 20.
Yeah, just crushing Michter's 20 to get through that Disney movie.
I love it.
Yeah, honestly, the nose on this is redonkulous.
So good. Like, what's happening?
It's beautiful. It's a dessert in a glass. Man. And like then, I like this.
Can we go back to drinking normal whiskey any day?
I don't know. It's gonna be hard.
This
is the newest. This is the 2021 Michter's Toasted Barrel Finish Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 45.7%. So that's not true. The two Toasted Barrel Ryes that I've had from them were barrel proof. Their sour mash was not barrel proof. It was also 45% or 45.7 or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Why not go barrel proof with this?
Why?
Seriously, why?
Why?
They should have.
I know. Well, to spread it out, obviously. But you're right. Like, they do the barrel toasted at cask strength, and then they do it watered down as well.
You know, bourbon does this for me whenever it's under 50%. And it's got this, like, grassy kind of, like, I don't know, like farm grass kind of note. that I'm not a fan of. Like it's not something I'm looking for in my bourbon. If I want bourbon, it's gotta be high viscosity, high sugar content, like
Right.
that kind of. I'm going all in. If I'm drinking a bourbon, I want that full experience.
Right.
And anything under 50% usually does not do that for me.
So this Michter's 20, we don't know exactly what bottling this is. We should really just reach out to James and ask him what it was.
I'll text them and then hopefully we will have
We'll put it here.
Yeah.
What we are drinking.
Like the palate's good. The palate's good on this. I'm gonna start with this because I don't wanna bastardize this experience with this experience. But this is actually a really good whiskey.
I'm gonna do the opposite, and I'm gonna do the 20 first.
Well, you do you.
Because I don't want to taint my palate with US 1 when there's 20 on the table.
I hear you. This is good. This is actually really good. I wish it was a higher ABV. Because I do like their toasted, and these are going for like pretty decent money now. I think the secondary on this is close to 400 Canadian.
But we talked about Michter's before, and we talked about how the brand has really like taken off and is super popular. Obviously, there are older expressions like this,
Yeah.
but like anything with an age statement goes for a lot of money. Anything toasted barrel, finished, rye, whatever. We seem to get good deals on these because we get lucky.
Yeah, our boy Mark from Liquor Lodge hooked us up with this bottle.
Yeah.
What did we pay? Like I want to say 150, 140. I don't know.
Canadian, yeah, it's a good
Maybe
deal.
more, maybe like under 2.
Straight retail, yeah, really good
Yeah.
price.
Yeah, and he usually gives us a little bit better than retail. Not a little bit, substantially better than retail. So that definitely helps. But I wouldn't pay the secondary for this. Like it's not that good enough to buy this for $400, in my opinion. Even 300 American, I think, is which is pretty much 400 Canadian. So that's a stretch for me.
The Michter's 20 on the palate is phenomenal. That buttered popcorn note carries over, along with like the rich brown sugars, lots of vanilla, the oak note, very creamy style kind of oak.
I'm gonna go to it now. This is good. You're gonna like this. On the nose, this reminds me a little bit of like the Pappy 15. 15 or 20? Was it the 15? What's the higher ABV one?
15 is the highest ABV.
Yeah. It could have been the 20 though. It could have been the 20
Right.
that this reminds me of. On the nose. Actually, it's not as like there's not a lot of oak. I thought I would get more oak. You know what I mean? It's not. Do you get oak? Like, is it really oaky for you? You don't really mind oak too much. I don't mind oak.
On the
either.
20?
Yeah.
You do get oak, yeah. Like I said, more kind of like a creamy style, kind of softer oak, I'd say.
Yeah.
So we talk secondary market. I just looked up secondary on Michter's 20, and I'm like, what? This can't be right. 5,500 to 6,000 US a
Wow.
bottle? What?
That's insane.
That is insane. That's for a 2021 release.
So that's more than the Pappy 23, by a lot. Right?
I think, you know what, I probably just haven't looked at prices in a while, and they're just out of control. Even more so out of control. Let's see what Pappy 23 is.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, this is really good. The retail on this is a lot more than the Pappy 23.
Yeah, Pappy 23, $4,000, 3,500, 4,000.
So,
Retail on this is like almost 2,000.
yeah, which
Or
is
like 1,500 US, right?
Yeah, and that's what, like 1,000 US more than the Pappy 23
Yeah.
retail. Like, what's the Pappy 23 go for retail? 500 American?
No, less than that.
Less.
Yeah, it's like-
it's like 300 American, right? 'Cause
300
we
or
were
less,
set-
right? Yeah, it's
I
like
think
under
we had it
300.
for 450 for a while.
Yeah, it's like under 300 US. That's insane. I can't believe that this bottle is like almost $6,000 on secondary.
So I wonder if it's just the older versions of this that they think are Stitzel Weller,
Yeah.
or is it? Could it be?
Yeah, so it is rumored that some of the older Michter's 20s are Stitzer Weller stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a rumor. I think it's confirmed. It's just
confirmed.
Depends on exactly which ones are and which ones aren't.
This is a really cool note. I just got it.
It's got some funkiness, right? It's like weird kind
of. Really nice. The oak syrup is.
Oak syrup.
Rendering.
Dude.
Honestly, James is the man. James is the best. Like that is a nuts sample. That is really good, man. That is really good. That is arguably the best bourbon I've ever had.
Yeah.
It's just so complex. Like it's not what you would expect from like anything else.
The finish.
What's
is
the
just...
ABV? 47 point something?
So this one does that say 57?
It's like rubbed out.
That's the 2014 picture that we have up. Let me see. It's definitely cast strength, right? They don't water that shit down.
I don't know, they might.
Craft Cellars had a Michter's 20 for 1300 CAD. What year was this in?
Huh. 57.1.
57.1, right. So what did I say that was? That's 57.1. This must have been an older bottling of it.
Mm-hmm.
From a long time ago when it used to be that cheap.
There was, not that long ago in Ontario, it was like $700.
Yeah. Times have changed.
Crazy. That's delicious. That is delicious.
Hey, we're not bashing bourbon on tonight's show.
See?
All we have to do is drink one of the best ever.
Yeah, we're not, listen, we are not biased. We just know what we like. We know what's good. I actually don't mind this either. It's rare that I dislike a Michter's, to be honest with you. I don't know, like, how do you feel? I've liked most of their stuff.
Mm.
I don't buy the lower, like, end stuff, though.
I think I've been more of a Michter's fan than you have been.
Probably.
Because when I first started drinking a lot of Michter stuff, it was the 10-year-old, and I had a whole bunch of it. I still do.
Yeah. See, again...
Because I love that bottle, and it was a 2017 release that I have a bunch bunkered away because I liked it that much.
Yeah. See, for me, again, with the 10-year-old, it was that ABV that I wasn't a fan of. It's
right.
like 47 point something.
Yeah. Yeah, you need the high ABV.
I need the high ABV
but honestly,
on bourbons.
They have a lower entry proof for their stuff, which I think translates really well.
Yep. Yeah, like their toasted barrel ryes were like 50 and change percentage-wise.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes a big difference. You get obviously a lot smaller yield overall.
Yeah.
But definitely worth it.
Yep.
Yeah, this is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Lives up to the hype, I guess.
Absolutely. So, are we marking this and then going to the toasted barrel and marking that? Is that how we're doing it?
We could do it like that. Are we gonna rant about something tonight?
You know what? I think it's...
One thing that I wanted to mention was about COVID and the supply chain that's happening in whiskey.
Yeah.
Because of that. I mean, really no fault to anyone in particular, but it is happening.
Yeah.
And like, think about all the releases that we have yet to see.
Yeah, there's
and
a
we
lot.
won't see for a while, right?
Or we might not ever see. Like,
right.
Apparently there's lineups at port in, like, you know, Vancouver and a whole bunch of spots around Canada trying to get product into the country, not just whiskey, but like everything.
Yeah.
And then there was the bottle shortage that you had mentioned off camera.
Yeah, just glass in general. Just getting glass bottles to put your whiskey in. There's a huge shortage in that. It's affecting the entire alcohol industry.
Yeah. Shelter Point experienced that. I don't know if this bottle over my shoulder. Yeah, it does. The bottle that they did my single cask in, they used a different bottle than their standard because they ran out of the glass top bottles.
Right.
Right.
The glass cork, right?
Yeah, the glass cork. So, yeah, there's COVID's causing all kinds of problems, and here we are again with a new variant that will just, cause problems again.
It seems like it's never ending. I think that there's lots of releases like we just got in our area like not that long ago. The Springbank 12 cask strength, which was bottled in what, February or March?
You're talking about
The first
all
batch
bourbon?
of 2021. No, the first batch of 2021, which is the one I just reviewed, 50-50 split.
Yeah.
That was bottled like really early 2021. We
Yeah,
just got that.
We just got it. You're right. They didn't bottle a 21-year-old this year.
Really?
I haven't heard of it. And it's December. Like, what are they waiting for, Christmas?
Yeah, you're right.
Like, literally, are they waiting for Christmas?
Yeah.
Because they haven't bottled it yet. So,
Like the new Carchis hasn't come to this area yet.
no.
I've seen it on secondary, I guess.
Yeah,
But
it hit Nova Scotia. We're missing out on a lot of things so far.
like,
So,
where's the new Macallan Classic cut? Where's that?
it's just getting here, just now. And that's the 2021, so it's going to be 2022 before we actually even see it on
Right?
shelves.
Yeah.
Same thing with the new Diageo releases. All the new Diageo releases, like the new cask strengths, they're all not out yet. They're not going to be out probably in the LCBO until 2022.
I mean, we're used to getting stuff way later in Canada anyway, but now it seems like way more.
Yeah, COVID
Like,
definitely played a factor in
We'll
all
be
of
more
that.
than a whole year behind.
It's unfortunate, but it's hard to nose this one after nosing this one.
I know.
The
I'm not
21.
even trying to. I'm gonna finish this entire thing before I move on.
Yeah, I'm saving this because, like I said, I don't want to bastardize the flavors of that 20-year-old with this.
I couldn't not just put that back. It was so good.
It's like, you ever try wheatgrass at Booster Juice?
Yeah,
It's what kind of I'm getting.
you're
that on the nose.
1,000% right. What's the third grain in this?
Probably barley. It's definitely not wheat. The Michter's
How much rye did they put in this?
I would say
There's
a
some
good
spice.
portion.
There's some spice.
I would say that there's probably like a good 20.
See, now they don't disclose, but I wish that they did, and be like, "This is some of our own distillate now," because I bet you this is some of their own distillate.
It does smell young. It smells young.
And the profile on this is different than Michter's bourbons we've had in the past.
The 10-year-olds are definitely different than this.
Because the 10-year-olds wouldn't have their distillate in it, but this,
But
I
they're
feel
using-
like does have their distillate in it.
So the whole explanation, when we went to the last Spirit of Toronto, the whole explanation that the Michter's guys said at the table was that they're using the same yeast strain, when they do make their own product, which they already had started in before 2019's tasting or Spirit of Toronto, that the whiskey should taste similar to where they've been sourcing it from, which he did not disclose, which I wish they would have. Like, I wish I knew.
MGP,
So it's MGP.
yeah.
Like, it's whatever they were doing before was great.
Yeah.
So this is good though. I like this. And I wonder. I don't think it's maybe young enough to be there.
I mean, it could be a portion of theirs and a portion of sourced. That would make the most sense to me. They would just slowly start working their stuff in so their profile doesn't change overnight, it's a gradual process. But yeah, it would be cool just to try. I mean, I would try just 100% their distillate. I think it'd be really interesting.
If I had to back a bourbon company, it would probably be Michter's.
Yeah, I think they do it right, man.
I like what they do. I
Yeah.
like that guy was cool
Yeah.
that we met. Like, I mean, I bet, and this is the problem. It's like, I bet you go to all these distilleries and you find like that everybody's cool. Like, everybody in the whiskey industry is cool. It's
The spirits industry in general is just awesome.
sometimes it's the fan of a product that like is the
Yeah.
turn off, right?
Yeah.
It's the fan of that. Like, a lot of people hate the Leafs not because they hate the Toronto Maple Leafs as a team. They hate the fans of the Toronto Maple Leafs. You know what I mean? So
Okay, well, let's just sidebar Toronto Maple Leafs haters for 1 second, because it's people that live in Ontario that don't cheer for the Leafs are their biggest haters because they have to watch all the coverage of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And too fucking bad for you. What do you think it's like in New York? What do you think it's like in any major city? You think you're getting your
What it
team's
should be.
coverage?
Yeah.
You're getting that market's coverage
That's right.
shoved down your throats. So don't complain that you hate the
It's
Leafs. Move the fuck out of here or watch some other freaking network. And rant.
You know, we needed a good rant.
My God.
I mean, we needed something.
All the Habs and freaking Wings and whoever else
Fans.
make their way into Ontario and complain that TSN and Sportsnet only cover the Leafs and how much coverage they give and how they,
I wonder-
massage them so much. Well,
Yeah.
get used to it. That's every single market of any sports team ever.
It's true, but I do wonder because you do get a lot of like the radio guys apologizing to other fans, and I wonder if they're apologizing because some of their stuff is broadcast in Winnipeg, in Vancouver,
Yeah, sure it is.
right. So, like you're watching Toronto radio or listening to Toronto radio, and it's got to be a turn off. Only.
See, that's what you should do. If you're into it, if you live in Southwestern Ontario, and you are a fan of either the Detroit Red Wings or the Montreal Canadiens or whoever else,
Go watch this.
go online and
Yeah.
just listen to that city's radio show.
Right. Yeah.
And that's how you should get all of your hockey news from now on. Don't watch TSN.
It's
don't
true.
watch Sportsnet because we're giving you what people want in this province, and that is
Toronto
Leafs
coverage.
down your throat.
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, like when I was younger and all I did was follow hockey, those summer months were tough. Like it was like, okay, I'm listening to talk radio and the Leafs haven't been mentioned every 5 minutes. What's going on? Like 3 minutes have gone by. We're not talking about the Leafs anymore. Like what's happening? Back to whiskey. I like this. If this wasn't in the picture, if the 20-year-old wasn't sitting beside this, I'd be like, yeah, this is a good whiskey.
I do like this whiskey. It is
Yeah.
very good. Yeah.
It is a very good whiskey. Tasting notes on this, you get that like that wheatgrass that I mentioned. The grassy notes are more nose dominant than palate dominant. On the palate, you get like some nice sweetness, a little bit of that wheatgrass, but not much, right?
Yeah, the caramel and vanilla, those classic 5 bourbon notes are there.
You get the charcoal kind of note from the double maturation.
Yeah. It does suffer from a lower ABV. I think this thing would be better to get up a couple notches. It does seem a little thin
I
to
think
me on the
this would
finish.
be really good at cast strength.
Yeah, of course. That's what I
Right.
always say about everything. But yeah, I think like if you made this,
Yeah.
50%?
Yeah, 50 would have been great.
Yeah?
I think 50 would have been great. I think for me, I think 50 is the marker. You should not go less than for bourbon. Like I think bourbon does horribly bad once below the 50 mark.
You can't go below 45. You just never.
Yeah,
You
but
should never go
there
below
are
45.
There are whiskeys that do it, and they're terrible.
They're terrible.
They're terrible.
They don't translate.
No. So actually, I think the toasted sour mash was 43, if I'm not mistaken. Now that I
Yeah.
think of it.
I don't know.
Now that I think about it, I'm pretty
Was
sure.
it 43?
I think it was 43. I don't care. I'm not gonna check it. Well, if I'm wrong, you can put it up here. If
Okay.
not, but
I'm gonna have a field day with editing if you're wrong.
okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm right though. Anyway, I'm gonna give this one like an 86. I think it's good. I think it could have been better with the ABV, and that's my biggest knock on it. It with a higher ABV, it would easily be an 88 in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me on this one, I'm gonna go 85. I think that's a good score for this. You're right. It needs more ABV. It really does. It just needs more ABV. It's got other good elements to it, but that finish is a little thin.
Yep.
But I like the spiciness to it.
Nice, nice sweetness.
It
mid-palate.
does taste like almost like a wheated bourbon.
Yeah.
In some respect.
Yeah, it does.
It's got a good balance, but yeah, it's thin.
It's thin. Yeah,
It's
a
a little
bit thin.
thin.
It's I mean, it's good. The nose, I think brings down the mark the most for me because it's just a little too grassy on the nose for me, and I think that's only because the ABV is so low.
Yeah.
Like I think the sugars would come out way more on the nose if it was a higher ABV. So enough about ABV. It's
Hard
good.
and also hard to mark with when we just tried the Michter's 20. Which, what are you gonna score that?
I'll let you go first because I have a few more sips left.
So Michter's 20. This was super hyped for me. I've always wanted to try it. It did not disappoint whatsoever. Definitely lived up to the hype in my opinion. It's up there as far as some of the favorite bourbons I've had before.
This is a 2016, by the way.
2016.
2016.
Right. So score-wise for me on that, I think the highest bourbon mark I've ever given out is a 93. Maybe a 93 and a half. I don't really remember. My favorite American whiskey is that Booker's Rye. That's my favorite. So that's the benchmark. And then I had a Pappy 23, which was Old Stitzer Weller Juice, which I think was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite bourbon
That's
ever.
really
This one I think falls somewhere below that. I would say I'm gonna go 92 on the Michter's 20. I think that is right where it falls. It's like not the very, very best I've ever had, but it's approaching that. It's just that good. It's just everything I want in a bourbon.
Yeah. I got this like crazy toasted marshmallow note on the nose there. Palate's really, really good. Man, yeah. I think I'm with you. I'm like 91, 92. I'm right there.
Yeah, phenomenal stuff. I absolutely love it, and I want to try more.
I know. See if James can hook it up.
I want some of those older ones too.
I feel like we're never allowed to ask James for anything.
No,
ever.
we can never ask him for anything more. He's like, really, guys? You need more from me? I just gave you everything in the world.
We'll owe him forever, but
Yeah, absolutely.
this is great.
So good.
2016 Michter's 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Really, really good. And the toasted barrel is good too. Should have been barrel proof, but it is what it is. I like the Rye's better. A lot better.
Yeah. See, I would still go with Michter's 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Bourbon.
Well, we do have
Michter's
in
10
our
bourbon.
care package Michter's 10 Rye, which I haven't tried.
Pour it out.
I guess we could pour it out.
We got too much stuff to drink for another time.
Yeah.
For another
There's
time.
lots of stuff to drink tonight.
All right. That was a short rant, but
Short rant.
we got a little
Not that
hockey,
short. I
a little
bet you it was
hockey in there, little
little
Leafs,
hockey.
little Leafs talk.
Little hockey, a little bit of COVID. We talked about some stuff.
COVID rant. Yeah.
So I don't know what these guys think. Like we get comments on these videos, but give me. What do you guys think we should be ranting about? Give us a topic that like you think. I want to like throw it out to the people. You know what I mean?
All right.
Give it back to the
Okay,
people.
now I gotta do that
Okay.
clip again.
And we give it back to you, the people.
Are we gonna use that? Can we use that almost every time? I love that. Anyway, yeah, I want to know what you guys think we should be ranting about. You guys kind of, if you've been following the rant for a long time, you know what kind of gets us aggravated, I guess. So
Yeah.
let us know. Let us know what you think, what we should be ranting about. Non-political. We're not ranting about political things. We're not talking politics on this.
No, because we would have to tell it the way it is.
Yeah, and it doesn't bode well. It doesn't bode well. I don't know.
Whiskey related topics, and we'll
it.
go off on it. You know.
Whiskey related
Yeah,
topics.
100%.
That's it. All right.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Really much appreciated. And until next time, have a good one.
Cheers, guys.